ladies and gentlemen. I'm back again, your movie guru, with another review. This one I am pleased to bring you guys. I'll tell you my review right off the bat. There were a couple of things that surprised me about the film. I'll get to that later. But talking about none other than A Quiet Place Part 2. If you haven't seen the first one, I'd say definitely 100% go watch that first. You would kind of pick up what's going on, if you just saw this one, but definitely see the number one first before you see this one, because this one really does pick up where that one left off. It had a lot to live up to, and by the critics' ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, and then by the viewers, average moviegoers ratings as well, it seems like it's pretty much done that. It's got a whopping 90% positive rating from the critics, and then 94% from the audience. And I gave it an 8 out of 10. I didn't like it quite as much as the predecessor, but it still does a great job. So it's starring John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and newly in this film, Cillian Murphy as some of the main characters. For those of you who don't know anything about it, and then I'm going to limit the spoilers here, even though you should have seen the first one at this point if you're watching this review. But, these creatures, we don't know where they come from. It doesn't really get much into that, especially in the first one. They come down and they kind of wreck the earth. It becomes this whole post-apocalyptic scenario, but everyone has to be quiet. So imagine kind of like the Walking Dead type thing, except, these creatures are really good with hearing, but they're blind. If you've seen Netflix's Bird Box, this is kind of the opposite, where, you can use your eyes, but you can't make too much noise because these things can hear really well and they'll hunt you down. So that's the basic plot, is humanity trying to survive in this new world where, this post-apocalyptic world where you can't make a sound. What the film really does well, the first one and then this one continues with it as well, is it's really good at building tension, setting scenes up so, you can see, you almost feel like you're there and you feel the danger in a situation. And so you really get, that the hair kind of stands on the back of your neck, and you get tense wondering, what's going to happen next. Some of the film, or some of the elements of the film, it does use jump scares. And I know some people don't like jump scares, and I do believe, sometimes they can be overused. But I really think that it's used effectively here, and it's not overdone, but it really does enhance the film. Once again, there's not that much dialogue in the film, just because of the premise. There is a bit more in this one than there was in the first one. But even without the dialogue, I think that the actors all do a really good job of still putting you in the film. Even though there's not a lot of talking, you're still very much vested and interested in what's going on screen. And especially, I noticed this with the first one, even more so than this one, is that because there wasn't a lot of talking, it helped you not to zone out and just, kind of listen to what's going on. You really looked and paid attention to what was going on. And this one follows along with that. So you're really watching, seeing what's going on. And when you see things, that does add to the tension of it. When you see something that necessarily you don't hear it, and it helps build that response as if you're really there. So I really think that where the first one left off, this one really continues in that. It doesn't, I wouldn't say it's not, very groundbreaking in a lot of ways. It does flush out the story a bit more from the first one, the background of, what happened before. And then it fleshes out the world a little bit more. So in the first one, they were pretty much limited in, where the story was told. This one fleshes it out a bit more. But without giving anything away, it does leave the breadcrumbs for the third film as well. And I can definitely tell you that I'm excited to see what happens next as well. You know, the film definitely leaves you saying, hey, I like this world and I want to explore more of it. And one of the things that surprises me is there was an element from one of the characters, without giving too much away. One of the characters is deaf or near deaf, and they need a hearing implant to hear. They they used a few elements in that a couple scenes I can really remember that will stick with you, as far as, you know, you get to experience how they experience it, and it adds to the fear in ways that, you know, you don't normally see on film. So I thought they did a really good job of that as well. Only reason I said I give it an 8 out of 10, not as high as the predecessor, because I think that the predecessor, the first film, did some things a little better, as far as it was more novel. You know, when it first came on, you know, this one was kind of more of the same. And then, you know, some of the pacing, you know, I just think it went from one frame to the next a little bit better. But that's not to say that, you know, you won't enjoy this. If you like the first one, you will definitely enjoy this one. I definitely recommend seeing the first one and seeing this one as well, you know, getting involved with this series, because I do think that you'll enjoy it, and then it will definitely leave you saying, hey, I can't wait for the next film. Definitely go check this one out in theaters. Seeing it on the big screen, you know, so you're able to see this big wide world fleshed out, and all the sound. Yeah, I think it definitely adds to the experience of this one. This is one that, you know, you want to go see in theaters. You'll have a good time. I do not think that you will walk away from this one saying, you know, that was terrible. Even if it's not particularly your cup of tea, you know, if you don't like thrillers, if you don't, you know, like being on the edge of your seat, you know, if you like things a little bit more cerebral, lots of dialogue, even if you do or prefer those types, I still think that you'll find enough in this film that you will enjoy. So that's my review for this one. I personally can't wait for the next one. But if you think I'm crazy and you think I'm wrong, hey, send me a comment. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I enjoy talking about movies, so let me know what you think. Once again, really helps me out. If you like what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next one. See you all later.